The card reveals have been piling up, and we actually finally got info on the V-Jump promo. So, Stay Sailor Romarian. Now, this is interesting because this is a plant tuner monster, and yes, you can lone fire it out. I'm not quite sure how this card is supposed to be a plant tuner, but alright, I don't make the rules around here. So you can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. That's pretty basic stuff here. Quick effect. We can target one face-up monster you control. Send one plant monster you control to the graveyard, except that target. And if you do, the next time that target will be destroyed by battle or card effect, it is not. We can send a plant monster to the graveyard to protect something. For this to be a V-Jump promo, that's a little bit lackluster. But if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, we can send one level 5 or lower plant monster from our deck or extra deck to the graveyard. Now, on the possibility that we could get something really cool for plants, something like Herald that might potentially benefit from this, that's pretty cool. But for this to be a V-Jump promo, it tells me that, plant tuner monster, the ability to interact with things, and other possible dump effects from the extra deck, there's a big old question mark there, and possible card design that we could eventually see. So I do like this card. I think that it's not good at this point in time, but it does open up possible future doors for card design, and I do like that. Anytime you see something that lets you send from the extra deck to the graveyard is very, very interesting. So level 5 or lower too. So I don't know. I'm intrigued by what possibility that this can open up for those doors. And then next up we have Booby Game. Now, so many people were just angry at this card. All the Evil Twin players in the room were super excited. They're like, we finally got good support. And I agree with you. I was excited for this too, and then I found out that this was a generic trap card. So you can only use this card's name's second effect once per turn. Also, I love the play on words, Booby Game. If a monster battles, monster or monsters, during damage calculation, you take no damage from that battle. Well, that's pretty cool. We'll take that. All right. If this set card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target up to 2 normal trap cards, except for Booby Game, and set them to your field. They can be activated this turn. My biggest benefit that I look at this is I want to give a shout out to Trap Tricks here. Trap Tricks can reset their normal trap cards and reuse them, but this is only if your opponent pops it. Outside of that, you're going to have a generic trap card that says, hey, if a monster battles, you're not taking any damage, alright? So, for this to be a more passive trap card, I was hoping for actual Evil Twin support here, but you really let down everybody with this card. So many people were just big frickin' sad with this, alright? Now, we got Paleozoic Cam Barastar. Now, the first thing I want to say about this is I've heard so many different opinions about this card. Everybody wants to say something completely different about this card. People want this card to be crazy good. Players wanted this to be good because it's Paleozoic support. And then you realize that the summoning conditions on this just hurt the card. 2 Paleozoic monsters to make this. You know what the downside to that is? Your Paleozoic trap cards will be banished. The reason why we used Paleozoic cards in the first place was you could exceed someone with them, put them underneath the toad, and then they go to the graveyard. Well, that's the whole purpose of doing that. But this card does not allow for that. So on a 1200 rank 2, up and down by the way for arrows, it becomes unaffected by other monster effects. Alright, and then you can only use the second or third effects of this card's name once per turn each. So you can target one face down card in a spell and trap card zone, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, set a Paleozoic trap card directly from your deck, and if you do, it can be activated this turn. Keep in mind that this does not say in your spell and trap card zone, so you can in fact target your opponent's spells and traps with this, which is kind of cool. If a face-down card or cards you control would be destroyed by card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard or field instead. So we have a self-replacement effect on a link 2 that protects your back row, gives you the ability to eat your opponent's spells and traps, and make paleo cards. My biggest gripe about this is the summoning conditions of 2 Paleozoic. Alright? I understand that you couldn't have made it any more generic because you would have ran into issues with possible card design and interactions here. But man, oh man, does that hurt. So I think the card is good. I like the interactions with the Paleozoic trap cards. This card also basically confirmed that we'll never see Paleozoic spell cards in our life, by the way, because of the interaction. Also, I feel like they could have gave this more attack points. 1,200 is little boy. Alright, he's so small. Alright. You could have done better. I hope the future Lightning Overdrive reveals are better than what we got so far. New recruits for the security force. I just want to disclaimer the security force here and say this. They seem like they had potential. Putting monsters in, having your opponent put monsters in front of your monsters that interact and give certain effects based on that mechanic was a cool idea. I don't think that the level and the effects that we're producing by these interactions are good enough. I understand that basically having bodyguards and gaining effects by punishing the opponent for summoning to that column. Wait a minute, we already got Mech Knights for that. Oh, never mind. This is just worse Mech Knights. So the first one is a light machine monster, S-Force Security Dog Tag. You can only use this card's first card effect of this only once per turn. If your opponent normal special summons a monster, while you control a security force monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, when your opponent monster or monsters in the same column as any security force monster you control cannot activate their effects, I get to deploy a special summon 1600, 2100 that says that if you have any monster in front of any of my security force monsters, your cards cannot do your card effects. Does that mean that my opponent just can't omni-negate me? That would appear to be the case, actually. That's pretty good. I think that this card is the best improvement that we've had for the entire Security Force deck. Security Force Edge Laser, 1300. If this card is no more special summoned, we can special summon a Security Force monster from our hand in attack position, except for Security Force Edge. We're finally getting those extenders that we needed. Alright. Monster your opponent controls in the same column as Security Force monsters you control cannot be used as link material for Link 3 or higher monsters. That is the most random effect in the world. You couldn't have said Synchro Summon, Exceed Summon. Nah, you just said you're not making Appaloosa against me. You're not making Boral Sword against me. You're not making Unicorn against me. That's some interesting card design. I do think that these cards make Security Force a lot better. Don't get me wrong, we're getting places. And then we have the IP Masquerena O-Face card. I love this card so much. Security Force Chase. Alright, normal trap card. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. Target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Security Force cards you control with different names and return them to your opponent's hand. Oh, well, this is just a big compulsory evacuation device. If a Security Force monster you control would banish a card from the hand to activate its effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So we're also fixing the cost effects of banishing requirements for my cards. But this is just compulsory evacuation device. Interesting. Keep in mind that we are on the horizon for Lightning Overdrive. V-Jump reveals should be over the next 2 to 3 days. I would think. I'm really looking forward to seeing what will be coming from these. Outside of that, that would appear to be the general scope of news at the moment. So nothing too crazy exciting, but the doors that are opened by this promo is very interesting. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below to what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces later on in the day. Peace out, guys.
Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCall40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCall40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcallgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.